We're live. Awesome. Thanks for joining me, everybody. We got a lot of news to get through. It's going to be a mental show, as always. And like the title suggests, next year is looking bonkers. Let's get straight into it. The UK unemployment rate is growing fast, the fastest since the 1970s. This recession will soon turn into a depression sooner than most people think. The UK housing prices are starting to fall already as of now. This will trigger a massive effect on the stock market coming early next year. American electric substations are being attacked, and this could soon be happening here in the UK. One of six brand new smart prisons has been completed and is operational. These are going to be rolled out in the UK over the next few years. Smart prisons, very bad. Burglary rates are rising at such a rate, people just can't understand what the hell is going on. So, we're going to get straight into it. Hi, I hope you're all well. I hope you had a good Christmas. It's been bonkers, seriously bonkers. So, we're going to go on to looking into the chat, making sure everything's okay. Now, I would like you guys to let me know if the audio and visual is good. If that's the case, then we can crack on. Incidentally, any of you guys want to ask any questions, can you put them in capital letters and I will try my best, okay? Now, last time there was so many messages, I think there's nearly 4,000 messages in the chat. It was insane, okay? So it's going to be difficult, and thanks to all the moderators who are in the house right now. Well done. And if it wasn't for you guys, I don't know where we would be. So let me look in. Yes, this is from Lisa Fenn. Audio and visual is looking good. Brilliant. Thank you very much for that, Lisa. So we can crack on then. So before we do, welcome to 2,000 new subscribers who have joined in the last 7 days. Bonkers. What is going on? Obviously, we're touching on nerves now, and more people are finding out what's going on here in the UK and are coming on board. So thank you to all of you new subscribers. If you didn't know, just briefly, I'm doing this as a full-time job. I recently lost my job, so I've got no work, no benefit. I'm trying to make a living here on YouTube, trying to help as many people as I possibly can. There is links below the video, so if you're watching on a replay, that also works too. Very, very welcome indeed. And it really massively supports us and the channel. All right. So why don't we find out exactly where you guys are watching from right now here in the UK. We've got just over 400 people here in the chat right now. So let's see where you guys are from. Incidentally, if you're watching on a replay and you want to skip this or whatever, that's absolutely fine. But what we like to try and do is we like to get a bit of a warm up, get loads of people in the chat before we start hitting the nitty gritty in the news. So if you're really interested in the news, I would skip fast forward 5 or 10 minutes from now, and then you're going to be in like Flynn. All right. So I know time's precious and I completely get it. So where have we got? We've got Northern Ireland, New Jersey in USA. Wow. West Midlands, Northern WI in USA. Man, I wish I understood what these abbreviations were. WI, is that Wisconsin? I don't know. No, probably not. I'm sorry for butchering you American guys across the pond. Florida, wow, Cornwall. Also, someone's from Pluto. No, Essex. Wow, North Wales. Wow, Runcorn. Finland. Wow, that's insane. Fantastic. And also Cuba. Oh, thank you very much for that donation. That's really much appreciated. That's seriously cool. Like, you would not believe how cool. Much appreciated. Thank you very much for that. And we're going to see. I'm a slave to no man. Dude, wishing you a peaceful new year. Keep up the information funky. Absolutely, sir. We will try our very best. That is cool. Right. So who else have we got here? Denmark. Well, we got people from all over. Do you know, I had a little chat with Björn in Finland. So hopefully, sorry, Norway. Hopefully he can join real soon. It'd be good to see him in the chat. Incidentally, what I plan to do is to give myself a bit of time and experience doing live streams with this StreamYard thing. And once I'm confident, and I'm going to try a few testing during the daytime, lots of people are asking me to do live streams with other preppers from around the world. Okay, now if some of you guys know Rudy, Alaska prepper, he is definitely on board. Björn from Norway, he is definitely on board. And also lots of you new guys who are following along, who have taken my advice and following Archaics. And he, Jason, yes, Jason, the man himself, wants to do a live stream with me all about prepping. So that is going to be awesome. We got Gaz Finn, Scottish Scouser. I don't even want to try that accent. So yeah, we've got Cornwall, lots of people in Cornwall. And do you know what? There is a lot going on in Cornwall. All right. So it'd be interesting to see what your take is on that. So already we got 582 in the chat. People are coming on board. Wicked. And yes, I know Christmas is just gone. Things are crazy. All right. So I really do appreciate your time coming along to this Community UK live stream. And like you're seeing now in the chat, lots of people from around the world are coming on board and they're sharing what they're seeing as well. And we've got some emails to show later on. All right. Now, some of them very interesting. Okay. So you don't want to miss out. Towards the end of this live stream, we got some awesome stuff coming too. So you don't want to just jump off and miss out. All right. Once in a lifetime. And here it is. Right. So someone's saying why 2 streams? I don't know what that means. Delete the, sorry, what's this going on here? Delete the other live, people are in there. Right, okay. No worries. I'm on StreamYard right now, so apologies for this. I don't know what happened there. Bear with me, guys. This is all new to me, this stuff. Right, let me see if I can go and fix this right here, right now. So we got live. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. Don't worry. Let me see. It looks like it might have duplicated it. Right, okay. So live now. Oh my God, okay. Right, so this one here is just about to go AWOL. All right. So I'm hoping I've done the right one. Very bizarre. I don't know what's happened there. Right. Yeah, I'm still getting to grips with this StreamYard thing. So hopefully, right, this is going to be all good in the hood. So it's in process of being permanently deleted. Now, I don't know what happened, but let me know what's going on in the chat. And we shall see. Very, very strange what's going on. Right. Okay. Technical bloody issues, eh? Right. I think what I need to do is I need to set up this StreamYard live stream in its own entirety rather than doing both. I think that's what's happened. Right. Okay, then. So we are getting grips. We got people from Liverpool, Kent. Oh, awesome. 732 in the chat. We're soon getting up to the magic 1,000, which is good. And yeah. Brilliant. Fantastic. Right. I'm hoping everyone's coming on board. Let me just check if that's gone. It's still deleting. Why is it taking? There it is. It's gone. Right. So hopefully the problem is solved and we're all good. So let me know if there's other people in the chat. I hope they come on to this one. Right. Lessons learned there. Right. So what we're going to do now is go quickly to fuel prices. Now, this is interesting, right? Because as most of you know, my dad was here on the last live stream and I recently took him back down to Portsmouth. On the way back, I stopped into this charming little place called Abergavenny. Now, the fuel prices there is a little bit different. Do you know how much I paid for 1 litre of diesel there? 163.9. So how much are you guys paying for diesel wherever you are? Okay. So here we go. Look. I hate techno stuff. Man, me too. It blows me away. It drives me absolutely nuts. So here we go. Looking good. What's happening in Cornwall? Lots. Should we say foreign people without getting too upset and whatnot? So here we go. 166, 169. Awesome. So it looks like the prices are coming down. But if I can find, there's so much information, it's crazy. Lots of it's going to have to be done on my phone because it was just taking far too long to handwrite everything. All right, it really is a lot of information out there. It's frightening. We're not going to lie. 831 on the chat right now, and we've got 159.9, 171 in Milton Keynes. Wow, 169 in North Wales. Blimey. So it does look like the prices are coming down. I'm trying to remember what I read earlier because there's been so much going on. I think it is the government are putting tax on fuel in 2 months' time. So if you want to save yourself some money, now looks like a really good time to start filling up those jerry cans. And if you feel like you need to, put some stabilizer in there to make it last longer, because you are going to save money getting it now rather than waiting for two months' time when the price will jump up. Okay, so I like to do data points, and this is a live data capture. So that is why I feel it's important to see the truth of what's going on, where the fuel prices are, where you are. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, we're looking at 158.9. Blimey, it's crazy, isn't it? Because it doesn't seem that long ago since 2019. At the end of that, it was under £1 a litre. Can you believe it? That's how much things have changed. I think people tend to forget the past very easily. All right. So yeah. It's all looking good. Pump and pump. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Okay, it's Jason. Honestly, I love that guy like a brother. Okay. What an amazing guy. And yes, he is a prepper, believe it or not, which is always a good thing. So what's better than a prepper and a weight prepper? Oh, yes. Absolutely 100% on point there. So yeah, we're looking good then. So that is a real quick look around to see what is going on with the fuel prices. 900 in the chat. So what we're going to do now is we are going to attempt to look at the markets live. Okay. Now this is the 30th of December 2022, and it's currently 12 minutes past 8 in the evening. All right. So right at the end of 2022, like the thumbnail suggests, next year is going to be seriously bad for the UK. All right. So hold on to your hats. There's a lot of stuff. Hello, what's this guy? Please give a shout out to Mark Mapson. Mark Mapson, man, I hope you get that fixed and recovered soon, mate. All prayers going to you. So you guys pray for Mark. That's a tough gig. Sally, you're more than welcome, my sweetheart. Absolutely no problem at all. So yes, all looking good. Right. So yes, like I said, we're going to just quickly check. That's live. Yep, I'm double checking it now. So we're going to go onto a screen share and we're going to look at the markets, all right, because it's very, very important. So here we go then. We're looking at the markets right now. So let me just check. Yes, it's moving. Right. This is live. As you can see now, it's Markets Insider, a very, very good website to go on because it is live, as you can see. Gold, that's come down, 1,818. Insane. Silver, wow, that's been jumping between, I'd say, 21 to 24 for a while now. I should imagine if you've got quantities of silver, it's a good time to shift. But me, I'm sitting on silver for sure. What we got here, heating oil, there we go, that is gone up. Check that out. I just want to see the graph. There is. Very interesting. Now, look at that. It's starting to jump. All right. Let's get that out of the way. Yeah. So all of you guys who have got heating oil, looks like you've done well before the prices is about to go up now. What else have we got? Coal. Wow. Coal's gone up. Heating oil's gone up. Brent and WTI, pretty much like crude. That's gone up as well. Yeah, can you see it there? Yeah, that's going. So like I suggest, I think with the government tax that's coming in a few months' time, you're going to see some big prices at the pumps, right? So if you are capable, start stocking up on fuel. I'd say you got between now and a couple of months, all right? So you don't want to leave it too late and start getting penalised for that. I'm going to try and do, say, 1 jerry can every couple of weeks if I can afford it, and make sure that I've got enough So when these fuel prices go up, we're not going to be spending money that we don't need to do. Okay. So John, if you're watching, mate, here we go. Aluminium or aluminum for our American friends, that's gone up as well. What else? Here we go. Nickel, zinc, and tin. They are involved with EVs, with batteries, and as you can see, the prices have gone down. We're looking at ag now. So what have we got? I would say oats is a good thing to look at. That's come down, which is strange. Lumber's gone down. Coffee's down. Look at that, guys. Everything's going down. Can you believe that? Wow. That is a bit of a surprise. Very, very much a surprise. Now look at wheat as well. That's just come down. Sugar, wow, sugar. It's always around the same. Rice, has gone up a tiny bit, bucking the trend. So yeah, very, very crazy to see what is going on there. Bonkers, as you can probably appreciate. 997 in the chat. Thank you and welcome for coming along. So let me see what's going on. House prices. Now, some of you guys will probably be aware of what goes on with stock markets and house prices. They're intrinsically linked. Okay, so when you start to see inflation at the rate that we've been seeing, you can look back through history and it mirrors pretty much exactly the same through the graphs. Okay, so this can be adjusted and monitored accordingly to what's happened in the past. So looking at insider information, house prices are starting to fall here in the UK. So that would be a shot across the bow if you've got a quantity of stocks in the markets. I would seriously think of moving stocks if it's going to be directly linked to the housing market, okay? Because that will make it jump, all right? Nothing worse than when the stock market reacts to bad news. And when you start seeing this news coming out in the public very soon about the house prices starting to come down, it's going to be a literally move fast situation, all right? Because it's happened before, and some of you guys remember in the 90s when the house prices changed. The mortgages, I mean, look at the interest rates and stuff, okay? So as predicted about 2 years ago when I was talking about this back then, it's just starting to happen now, right? So some of you guys, if you did take out a large mortgage within the last 6 months, I'm sorry guys, but you're going to be in the poo very soon. It's not looking good. If you've managed to fix it, fair play, but if you've got a variable or tracker, that looks like bad news unless you've got the funds to cover it, because then prices are going to rocket with mortgages, all right? And at some point, it's already happened in some parts of the UK. Looking at the emails I've been receiving, some of the rent prices have gone up as well. Now, I'll pray to God that my rent price doesn't go up, because I'm literally on the breadline here, because I've not got a work, not got a job, and I've got no benefits at all. Don't believe in benefits. It's not who we're all about. So yeah, look at the housing markets, guys. Seriously, especially if you're trading, all right? Here's a weird one, right? This is a bit of a curveball. Now, this email coming to me within the last couple of days. I've read so many emails. And in fact, when I get back on it soon, I'm going to have to do some more of those Intel update videos, because I've just got so many emails. I can't fit it all in the live stream because there wouldn't be time for anything else. 1038 in the chat. Epic. Watches and clocks. Now, I want you to listen carefully, right? Now, I remember speaking to Lee at the Bug Out about this. Oh, when was this? Probably, I would say, end of November, early December, possibly. Now, I've got, say, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 clocks in my house, a watch which doesn't work anymore, and me and my partner have got a phone each, and we've both got a laptop each. Now, one day when we woke up, I couldn't understand what was going on. All of the analog clocks, which would require just a battery, they're not online or nothing like that. They're old school clocks. All of those clocks were 5 minutes behind. Now, it's either something's happened to the time on both our phones. That was 5 minutes ahead from all of the clocks, including my wristwatch, all right? The laptop, well, that's been screwy with time anyway, so we can omit that from this inquiry. But yeah, all of the times were 5 minutes out from old, bog standard wristwatches and, you know, the old battery wind up clocks. But something's happened. It's almost like we've jumped fast forward 5 minutes. Now, I wasn't going to talk about this because I didn't think it was really relevant, but check this out. I got an email from this guy, And this guy buys and sells watches on eBay, right? Now he was saying that he lost lots of time. Most of his watches, as soon as he gets them, he refurbs them, he puts brand new batteries in, and he set all of the watches to exactly the same time. All right. And as he was starting to sort of pack some of them to send out because people have won the bids on eBay, etc., he couldn't understand that he thought, hold on, I've got 2 watches here that are going out. They've both got different times on, and I set all of these at exactly the same time with brand new batteries in. So he went to check his stock, and he had over 50 different wristwatches. Now get this, right? I want you to tell me if anything like this has happened to you guys. He opened these up, and I would say half of all of the watches had different times. They're completely out. They weren't to the current time. Now, this is a bit bizarre, very bizarre. Now, we don't want to go too deep into this because we got like 3D news to cover, right? But if you look at what's going on in the solar system and things like that with the grand solar minimum, there's a lot of freaky stuff going on. Now, has anyone had any weird stuff with time? So I'm interested to see this, right? Oh, look at this. Is it 2020 when I said that? Now, that is a synchronicity there. So you, man or lady, switched on. Fair play to you for picking that one out. How cool is that? So yeah, let's have a look. Harp with the ionosphere. It's possible. I'm not sure if that can alter time, but who knows? You know, from what I understand about the High Aurora Advanced Research Project back in the 60s and 70s, I don't think, you know, that was capable of doing such things. But who knows? It's probably massively been modified recently. Who knows? So yeah, I'll be interested to see what you guys are talking about this. I lost days when I was drunk. There's always one. That's Brian. I trust you. So yes, it's always 420. There is a heart facility. Hold on a minute. Is there a heart facility in Wales? If there is, let me know. Send me an email. Incidentally, guys, if you don't want to leave a private comment in the chat, or indeed under the video, if you're watching on a replay, you can always send me an email. I'll get tons of them, and I try my best to go through them. I may not reply to them, but they will probably be read out on the Intel update videos I do. And if I get around to it, they could end up on the live stream too. So yeah, let me know if you know anything about harp in Wales. That'd be interesting. So let me say, yeah, Spanish John. It's weird because, like I say, when we set all of our clocks at the same time, right, and always the same, we always update the batteries and stuff, right? They're always pretty good, okay, but all of them at the same time to lose 5 minutes in one day, that is pretty odd. All right, so yeah, what is going on? So has anyone had any weird stuff going on with their watches and clocks and stuff? Here we go. Timeless shifts, lots of them this year. Yeah, I think there has been a lot going on this year, and there's a lot going on which we don't know about. Maybe we've got here pole shift, possibly. Wowee. So yeah, a bit bizarre. I thought I'd just throw that one in there, okay, because that really did do my head in a little bit, okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at some of the information I've uncovered. And like I said, there was so much of it to write out. I'm going to just go through it on my phone because, like I said, there is a hell of a lot going on. So let's have a look at this one. Right. Okay, here we go. The UK is beginning 2023 on the brink of a recession. Well, most of us believe they are already in a recession. So, like I said to my dad a long time ago, when you read mainstream, over time, after you've woken up, you tend to sort of adopt filters. So you can filter out the bullshit and you can adjust it over time. But the more you do it, you can pretty much filter it live, like I'm doing now. Okay, so yeah, we just translate it. So yeah, recession, intense pressure from the cost of living crisis, with inflation at its highest rate since the early 80s. Now, some people are saying since the 70s, all right? It all depends on how deep you research into this. The BOE, which is the Bank of England, said the country is on track for a prolonged recession as households struggle to keep up with soaring costs of food, energy, and other basic essentials. And they show charts as well. Wow. Look at that. See how they try and justify it with what's going on in Ukraine and stuff. It's beautiful, isn't it? How they try to sort of pin it all on the evil guy in the red country. So there we go. Britain entered 2022 with inflation at just over 5%. Really? Okay. That's the aftershock of the issue and supply chain problems took their toll. But Russia's invasion of Ukraine drove up inflation even further, with energy costs for business. Well, who remembers that guy, very famous guy, saying problem, reaction, solution? Well, whether you love him or hate him, a bit like Marmite, I think he's absolutely right. Okay. A problem which they create, they expect a reaction, and guess what? They've already got the solution ready. And you're seeing that on every single change that's going through over the last 2 years, especially, right? So 1,269 in the chat. Thank you. And if you're watching on replay, if you can hit that thumbs up button, it really helps. Most economists expect inflation to fall back gradually later this year as the initial shock from Mr. Putin's invasion works its way through the system. Can you believe this? I certainly can't. No way. I foresee that this recession is going to be a depression a lot sooner than a lot of people realize. Now, we're going to go into some of that if we'll get a chance later on. Here you go. Britain's economy is struggling to reach pre-COVID level. And I said the C word. Whoops. I hope I don't get banned for saying that. These are the sign of the times, believe it or not. Right. Economic activity has slowed sharply in recent months as consumers tighten their belts in response to soaring living costs, while business investment has slumped amid concerns over the strength of the UK and global economy. Here we go. Check this out. If you want to believe this or not, Britain remains the only G7 country with GDP, which is gross domestic product, below its pre-pandemic level. Really? The Bank of England expects the recession to last for the whole of 2023 and the first half of 2024. Really? Honestly, man, these people buy newspapers and swallowing this crap. I really, I just shake my head and grin because we know, don't we? We're not silly. Right, here we go. Continuing high energy prices are expected to weigh on activity, while higher borrowing costs for business and households after sharp rate increases from the Bank of England will also act as a drag. Oh, look at the keywords they're using here. Wow. Company bosses warn that business investment will remain weak, obviously, with added headwinds from Brexit, red tape, and additional costs for exporters. Well, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, this is interesting. Unemployment is at its lowest level since the 70s. Unemployment is at its lowest level since the 70s. How many do you know who are out of work, who have lost their job? I'm out of a job. You know, there's many have lost their jobs this year, largely as a result of rising economic inactivity. Wow. When working age adults are neither in work looking for a job after rapid growth in early retirement and rates of long-term sickness. Oh, honestly, we're going to move on. That's doing my head in reading out that filth. So this, I think, is quite interesting. Let's have a quick look at this. I want to see. This is Forbes. Right. Inflation has been one of the biggest stories since 2022. For evidence of rising prices, look no further than the cost of preparing this year's Christmas lunch. Wow. Check it out. Okay. So, yeah, the ONS, yeah, controlled. So you don't want to believe too much of what the ONS say. Look at this. Inflation is at 11.1%. Now, who believes that it's a lot more than that? I think it's a lot more than that, don't you? In fact, me and a good friend of mine, Neil, we both pretty much agree word for word on what he's been sharing publicly. Neil McCoy Ward, if you don't watch Neil, he's been saying, and it's well over 20%, and that has been for quite some time. And I agree with him. Based on the studies that I've looking into, it's blatant that they're really trying to sort of cushion and bubble wrap this massive social and economic change that we are currently in. All right, there is a lot going on, and lots of people just aren't swallowing this BS anymore. So it does make me laugh when I read this. The reason inflation is in deep and double figure territory, soaring energy prices triggered in large part of the war in Ukraine, interest rates and global supply chain bottlenecks, and the roots of the cost of living crisis. Really, are they the roots of the cost of living crisis? Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so yeah, they're trying to explain what inflation means, but most of us know what that is. So yeah, I can't read anymore. I'm sorry. That's just BS. So what we're going to do now this is quite interesting, right? And I want to hear your guys' views on that. Now, this, right? This is the actual government website, all right? It's the government website, so it's not made up conspiracy. Britain's first smart prison to drive down crime. Prison designed from top to bottom with smart technology to cut crime and protect the public. Wow, 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 wow. Check it out. So this was actually completed. Now, some of you are probably aware of this. I remember talking about this. I think it was last year, all right, that this was the case. Britain's first smart prison was opened in March of this year. And obviously, they've been having teething problems at the start, but now it's apparently fully operational, right? So this is a Category C prison, all right? So A being the most violent and scary, Category C. So I would suggest, because I'm going to tie all this up a bit later on in the stream, right? So you've got to stay tuned to try and understand the reasoning for talking about this and what my thoughts are on this, right? The Category C prison. So we're not talking the most violent, okay? But I would suggest that, and we're going to go on to this, like I said, lots of stuff going on in social media, what you can and can't say. If it's probably extreme, there's a chance that people could end up in these smart prisons, right? Like I said, this is one of 6. So this one's operational, done. The other 5, one of them is nearly complete. And the other 4, they're going to be completed over the next few years, all right? So yeah, smart prisons, it's crazy. And I'm going to go on to another website which goes into this a bit further, because the government is just all like, obviously trying to put a nice slant on it all, okay? Which is a bit crazy. Let me see. HMP 5 Wells. There we go. Now this place is in Northamptonshire. So if any of you guys watching on the replay, or indeed right now here in the chat, can you let me know what you're seeing about this? All right. Right. Let me see. Faith, you're absolutely right, my dear. It sounds horrible, and it is, because most of us have got at least 2 smart items, so their phone and a TV. So when you look at IoT, which is the Internet of Things, you start adding on things like prisons and highways and cars and all the rest of it. It's all about control, like most of us know, but some of you guys aren't aware. All right, so just a heads up of what's coming down the road. So here you go. These prisons, right, they got 24 workshops and a large number of classrooms. How nice. Prisoners will take part in formal learning courses, qualifications, and on-the-job training in areas, and guess what, they put this first: coding. Now, I spoke to my partner about this before we come on air tonight, and yeah, why would you get a criminal trained up in coding? So after that prisoner has served his term, okay, what do you think that criminal is going to be getting up to with all of that in-depth knowledge about coding? Guess what? Gone rogue, hacking, etc. So, with all of this coming down the road, I think the importance of really locking down security on your devices which are connected online is going to be a thing. Now, the problem I foresee with this is knowing who to trust and the cost of protecting your security and all the rest of it with online things. All right. So I can see massive implications with that. And if you remember me talking a while ago about the WEF, what they wanted to do is they wanted to really get stung on the kids and get them into AI learning, coding, programming, all of that stuff, jobs for the future, because it's literally been forced, as we know, that people are losing their jobs. I would say mundane jobs, without being derogatory. All right, lots of people are being replaced with AI technology and/or robots. Okay, believe it or not. So there's going to be a lot of people out of work. So the WEF are suggesting that people are out of work to train up in coding. Now, a lot of coding. So if any of you guys have not seen the film THX 1138, look at that film. It's by George Lucas, and it's the film he'd put out before Star Wars in the 70s. And I've got the limited edition DVD set of that. And his interviews, he actually mentions the New World Order back then. All right. So, yeah, George Lucas probably on board with all of that and what he's put in his films. Very interesting subject to get into. 1,402 in the chat. Thank you ever so much for coming along. If you can hit that thumbs up, I really would appreciate it. So anyway, I'm digressing now. So yes, they looking at the first thing that they mentioned on the smart prisons is they want to get people into coding, which is crazy. Car maintenance. Why would you want to train people up in car maintenance where they're phasing out combustion engines and they're bringing in these electric cars, okay, EVs, which is BS. I know lots of us think BS. Now, this made me think a bit more, right? When you look at these electric vehicles, and it was my dad who actually mentioned this after the live stream last week. Now, he said, do you know how heavy these electric vehicles weigh because of all of the batteries in there? They're ridiculous amounts. And, you know, when you look into details about what's going on with pollution and stuff like that, yes, they're blaming diesel particulates in urban areas, causing people all sorts of respiratory problems and issues. But apparently more worse than that is the tiny, tiny bits of particles coming off of car tires, whether they're push bikes, motorbikes, HGVs, vans, lorries, buses, whatever it is, they've all got rubber tires. Now, the reason I bring this up real quickly is not so long ago, I used to have chickens, all right, the little homestead that I was running. And I thought chickens need to have one of those dry, like a dust bath. So a good thing to do, I thought, was get a car tire, fill it up with dust and sand, and they can like clean themselves because, you know, chickens like to clean their feathers dry, not wet. Okay. So I thought, great, a car tire would be brilliant. It would stop all the dust and dirt getting everywhere and it would keep it in one place. So I thought, okay. So I thought I'd look into what people thought about using car tires in homesteads. And I found this really interesting YouTube video of this guy, I think he's a Welsh guy actually, doing an allotment. Really, really successful YouTube channel here in the UK. And he said like he'd done some research into car tires about using them for planting as planters, you know, raised beds and that sort of thing. And as soon as I saw that video, it was like, whoa, big no-no. He got some data sheets from car tires. And do you know how much toxic, really lethal components make up car tires? It is seriously bad. All right. So much so that I thought I'm not having a car tire in my chicken coop with my chickens. All right. Getting all of that stuff eventually into the eggs that we're consuming. All right. So obviously, if anyone has got car tires and using it with anything to do with food or anywhere on their property, get rid of them. Right. They're seriously toxic. So when you think of all of that weight on these electric vehicles pushing down on these car tires, extra weight more than usual, you're going to get more and more fragments and particles of these really bad car tires all over the atmosphere. All right. So it's not bloody good. And then also, my dad said, well, you think about how heavy these electric vehicles are with the batteries and with cars. What about lorries? Now, that idiot, Elon Musk, and yes, I know lots of you love that guy. Personally, I can't stand him. I think he's BS and is 100% on board with the WEF. All right. Totally, in my opinion. I don't trust a word that Elon Musk says. No way. And he is trying to develop a Tesla truck, a lorry. Can you imagine how heavy that's going to be? And how much energy and stuff it's going to take to produce these electric vehicles? And obviously, you know, they're using metals that come out of the ground. The mining processes to do with that is seriously bad anyway, especially when they're involving kids from poor countries to do all the dirty work, literally. All right. Oh, that fire's looking good. Awesome. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. So I go on. So yeah, they're looking at training people into vehicle mechanics. So why would you bother doing that when they're going to be phasing them out? Or maybe they're going to be teaching them to do with electric vehicles. That's another thing. Forklift truck maintenance, plumbing and engineering. So this is what all of these inmates are going to be learning in these smart prisons. Okay. So this is the government website I'm reading from right now. This has only recently come out. Okay. The prison will also be smart in how it supports prisoners with drug addictions into clean living, with 2 special drug recovery wings with a focus on abstinence-based methods here. I wonder what methods they're going to use. Up to 200 offenders with substance misuse issues will take part in a 16-week program to help them get off of drugs and into permanent recovery. All the best of luck with that one. So let me see. The smart prisons using the latest designs and innovations to protect the public and rehabilitate offenders. Smart technology to rehab offenders. Prisoners will have cell tablets to access education and learning from inside their cell, kitted out with stringent and robust security to ensure they are not abused. Well, like cops and robbers, there's always a way, okay? And cutting-edge body scanners will prevent contraband from reaping havoc on the wings. So you heard me right, body scanners, smart body scanners. Now, I have a few friends within the prison service, right? Now, I'm not going to be mentioning any of them because they are going to remain anonymous at this stage and any stage. And I'm not going to mention where they work, or what their names are, what their sexes are. But from what I've been listening to these guys, there are plans which will be implementing chips, microchips. Now, what they're going to be doing, which I believe in communication with my friends in the prison service, is they're going to be bringing this out. And like we said before, problem, reaction, solution. This is a slow drip feed, okay? So you're looking at pets getting microchipped, all right? Now, I think in America, they've done a study. Now, some of you guys in America could back me up on this because I know some of you guys think I'm talking BS. That's fine. If you don't want this information, that's cool. No problem at all. All I'm trying to do is just to reach out and let people know what's going on so we can plan and prepare for all this crap coming down the road next year. Not long. We're only a couple of days away and we're in 2023, all right? So it's not looking good. They have been talking about putting chips inside them. So if they do escape and evade, they can be tracked easy because they're going to be deemed a danger to the public. All right. So when you hear about these smart body scanners and looking for contraband, that is going to be the key to open the door to, over time, pick up exactly who they are, and it's going to have all of their data and information. Now, lots of people have been talking about microchipping people for a long time, okay? And it almost looks like a grain of rice. I think that's how it's been packaged over time. It's probably a lot smaller now. It might even be like an intravenous injection, and, you know, that smart technology is in you. With the issue in 2020, I'm not going to go into details, but, you know, when you look at the stuff that's inside that stuff, yes, it's very different and very new and not very good, if we're going to be putting it mildly, okay? So there we go. Look at this. Rex, brother from another mother right there. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. So yes, that is scary when you try and tie all this in together. So I'm going to carry on now. Now, SMART is approaching getting offenders into jobs. How nice. Working in direct partnership with local employers to offer 500 on-the-job training places. Wow, it really does sound amazing, doesn't it? But I think the reality is, I mean, you can imagine now, when you go to prison, you have to be processed before anything else. So they're going to measure you, they're going to weigh you, they're going to take photographs. It used to be fingerprints, now it's going to be DNA swabs, it's going to be retina scans, it's going to be everything, okay? And to top it all off, over time, now these conversations I had with people working in the prison service last week when I spoke to you on the phone, they have no idea when this is going to be implemented, but it's on the cards to come soon. So whatever that means, I couldn't really say. But it does sort of tie into all of this proper control thing. And it looks like when you remember the old mental lunatic asylums or the experimental drugs that used to happen and all of that. Now, these smart prisons, I believe they're going to be trying all sorts of weird and wonderful and disgusting, nasty control things in those facilities, right? Now, I think when I looked into this, we're going to go onto another website which goes into a lot more details, right? I think it's Serco, you know, that wonderful company that wins a lot of defense contracts for the MOD. Yes, indeed, Serco are going to be fronting all this. Now, listen to this. The prison will hold around 1,700 offenders when at its full capacity. So in December, which is right now, okay, it will boost employment with over 600 new jobs for the community. And apparently there's already 200 prisoners already in there, all right? So the opening of HMP, Her Majesty's Pleasure. So Her Majesty's Pleasure, surely they've got to change Her Majesty to His Royal Highness because things have changed. So yeah, the government website up to date, they still haven't figured that out. HMP, that's got to change. What are they like? 5 wells, a major milestone in the government's commitment to create 20,000 modern, innovative places by the mid-20s. Now, the mid-20s, do you remember me saying on previous live streams, 2025, when you've got the rollout of CBDC, central bank digital currency, it's looking, guess what? Only a couple of years away now. All right, so some of you guys are new into preparedness. There is so much to learn and understand, okay? One of the most important things you can do is do whatever you can to move out of the city into a rural area, okay? That would be my advice. I've done it pretty much on a budget. If I can do it, you can do it. You just need to find a way, all right? And you will find yourself putting excuses to stop yourself doing it, but there is a way, all right? You just need to focus and plan and just do it. Once you get there, then you can make it up and go from there. Just do what you can to get out of cities. You got a couple of years, right? So the new jail on the site of the old HMP Wellingborough is the first of 6 new prisons to be completed, with the construction at Glen Parva, Leicestershire, well underway. The 1,700 place prison, recently named HMP Fosse Way by the local community. Wow. It'll be operated by Serco following a recent tendering competition. Now, let me tell you this, right? There's no way any other contractor would have got that tender other than Serco. I've been working in the MOD sector for many, many years. And let me tell you this, Serco is a massive company. Lockheed Martin as well. I could go on, but some of you guys will understand what I'm saying. So check this out. The next new prison will be built next to HMP Full Sutton, East Yorkshire. All locations are being identified for further 3 across the country of final builds. One will be run by Her Majesty's Prison and Probation Service and 3 by private operators. So you can see what they've done then. They've chose 6, half and half. It's exactly the same as what happened in 2020 with the issue. Lots of tests and lots of data was carried out. This is exactly the same. All right. Together, this £4 billion investment will create thousands of jobs for local communities and see millions invested in local roads infrastructure while rehabilitating thousands of offenders and keeping the public safe. Isn't that beautiful? Wow. Thanks very much indeed. Oh, wow. Check this out. Construction of HMP 5 wells began in May 2019, and G4S, another shady company to look into, began preparations to open a prison in November last year. The first prison arrived on the 4th of February this year, 2022, but the others are well on the way. Right. The name of the new prison in Glenparva, HMP Fosway, was selected by local community and reflects the history of the local area. The Fosway is a Roman road that runs through Leicestershire. Well, blah, 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 whatever, whatever, whatever. All right. So, yes, Britain. Dun, dun, dun. Now, this is interesting. Right. Let me just check this out with you. So 1,590 people. Thank you very much in the chat. And I can't check. Actually, I need to check quickly because some of you guys donate on PayPal as well. So let's get into there. Whoa, blimey. From Mark Mapson. Mark, if that's the Mark that I think it is, and what was mentioned earlier about the big C, I need to contact you, mate. I had no idea. Siraj as well. Happy New Year, mate. You two guys are awesome. So thanks for your donations there. That's insane. I really appreciate that. So we're going back onto this. Now, new smart prison with no bars on windows and cells called rooms is no soft touch, says the Justice Secretary. Whoa, really? Wow, wow, wow. Have a look what it looks like in there. Yeah, look at this. Category C, jail. Wow, they used to be called prisons. It's getting Americanized now. They're using the terms jail instead of prisons. Okay. We'll also feature a gym, snooker table, tennis table, and a brand new tablet to help prisoners gain new qualifications. So it looks like you're pretty much really rewarded for doing bad things. You know, if you're on the rails and things have gone bad and you end up going to prison for whatever reason, guess what? You're going to have all this training, you're going to be super fit, blah, blah, blah. Thank you very much for people donating on Ko-fi or coffee as well. Much appreciated. Seriously cool. Now that the Christmas break is over, I'm going to get back into the YouTube stuff because it's all been about family for me over Christmas. And I will be getting replies to all of you guys on coffee. Thank you very much for donating. It really helps. All right. Okay. We're not going to lock up everyone for life. Wow. Okay. 24-hour workshops will be available on the site, and prisoners will be able to get on-the-job training in areas as coding, like we said earlier. That's pretty much been repeated, lifted off the government website. Excuse me. Plans to create 4,000 new prison places. Basically, what they're trying to say is they're saying that all of the old Victorian prisons are so inefficient to run, they needed to spend an absolute fortune on these smart places because they're more efficient to run. And if I remember rightly, at the bottom of this long article, it gives you the reason, which is the cherry on the cake. So bear with me, all right? It does tie into everything, all right? And I'm going to go into a little bit of depth about that in a sec. So yeah, no bars on the windows. Monitoring in all rooms. They're not called cells, they're called rooms now. So there's going to be cameras, all right? So that's a blatant on rights, etc. Also, one of the reasons why I didn't want to use bars on the windows is because there's not bars because they're very high secure windows. We've got far less contraband coming in, and the risk of stuff firing drones is much lower. So what was happening? People were flying drones up to the windows, delivering smartphones, phones, dumb phones, burner phones, whatever you want to call them, contraband, so drugs, whatever else, okay, was delivered to them via drones through the old open windows with the bars on. So they've got secure windows now. Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. So yeah, that pretty much sums up that. Also, what they were saying is one of the reasons, like I said, they're doing this is because they need to make sure that they comply with net zero carbon goals by 2050. Excuse me, 2050. I reckon it'd be a lot sooner than that. At the rate they're going. Okay. So that's the smart prisons thing pretty much out of the way. Now this is some news which I think a lot of people need to understand. All right. So 2023, we're only a day or so away. Okay. There's lots of changes coming in. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some brief blurb about this. And yes, 5 minutes time. If you want to join some beer, that's what I'm playing with tonight in 5 minutes. So yeah, fill the screen up at 9 o'clock with loads of bottles of beer, and I might just catch it there. All right, let me see. Where are we going to start from? Right. Apparently, if you're planning on voting, if any of you vote, I certainly don't. The way I see it, very simple. I only vote for people that I can trust. Now, if you're honest with yourself and you really, really trust a politician, you need to have a good look at yourself for that one. But that's my own personal thing, freedom of speech, and I can say what I want. You can say what you want, that's fine. So yeah, currently voters don't need to bring their ID to a polling station, but from May 2023, so only a few months away now, you will need to show a valid photo ID. They're the new ones, okay, which has got the retina information on there. Like all the new driving licenses have them now, okay. It's scary. It really is scary. You need to show a valid photo ID to receive a ballot paper under a new Elections Act 2022. So that was passed. The move is designed to prevent people from having their vote stolen. Really. Passports, photographic driving licenses, biometric immigration documents. Do you understand what you said? Immigration documents. Now, what did we talk about on the last live stream? That magic word begins with I and ends in N. Yes, I believe it's an invasion. It's a Trojan horse. That's my own beliefs based on, I would say, probably hundreds of emails now from people all over the country telling me what they're seeing in hotels. If you want to know more information about that, watch the previous live stream. It's all over the thumbnail. You can't miss it. All right. So if you're interested or intrigued about that particular topic, I suggest that you go to that live stream and watch and listen and take notes on there. Okay. There's a lot of information about that. Like I said, there's more short videos, the Intel updates to come, because there's just so many of them. All right. There really, really is a lot of information about what's going on in our hotels right now. So yes, biometric immigration documents and some concessionary travel passes. Now that's another backdoor into the UK. A concessionary travel pass. Not quite Visa, but you do get access gains with those travel passes. Will all be included as forms of identification. There will also be a new voter document for those who don't have a form of photographic ID. So can you imagine the hoops and stuff you've got to jump through to prove your identity if you have no photographic evidence proving your identity? So yeah, lots of crazy stuff. Wages will go up. So from April 2023, the national living wage will rise to £10.42 an hour, right? That is law. So if you're an employer and you're paying less than £2.42, you're going to be in big, big trouble, okay? Like I said, this is coming in April, which is obviously the start of the new financial year, like you do. April Fools, I mean, come on. If you really look into your past, you're going to know some of your future, all right? All employees in the UK aged 23 and above qualify for the NLW from the 1st of April. There you go, April Fool's Day, just like I said. It will be a legal requirement for all employers in the UK to pay their employees aged 23 and above the new rate. So if you are struggling to pay staff, I would hire people under the age of 23 if you want to get around that minimum wage thing. obviously it's up to you. New minimum wage for workers aged under 23 coming to law on the 1st of April as well. The new rates are a minimum of £10.18 an hour from 21 to 22-year-olds, a minimum of £7.49 an hour for 18 to 20-year-olds, a minimum of £5.28 for 16 to 17-year-olds, and a minimum of £5.28 an hour for apprentices. Whoa, £5.28 an hour. Do you know what? When I was a young man working, blimey, when was this? Oh lordy, it must have been in the mid 80s, I would say. I was on £3.20 an hour then. So when you're looking, it's only gone up £2 in 20, 30 years, 30 years. And look what else has gone up. Everything's gone up. Wages have shockingly just dragged their heels. So when you start to sort of build a picture of all of these things, you'll have a much better idea, and you'll probably come to the same conclusion as I have about who is actually running this country. Many payments from the UK government will increase in the financial year from April, again, 2023 to 2024, in line with inflation. The standard rate for maternity allowance, blah, 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 is going to go up from £156 to £172 a week. So that's nothing really, to be honest. This is a weird one as well. New fire safety regulations will come into force from January, which will broadly cover high-rise buildings. Now, my dad, as some of you probably know, he lives in the middle of Portsmouth, and they are struggling to build anywhere. They pretty much maxed out that city. And looking at plans and proposals on Portsmouth City Council, the only way is up. So expect to see a lot of high-rises in urban environments. Okay, it's looking like they're going to probably use the same old climate change BS, that they don't want to expand the width of the cities, but they're going to expand the height of cities. So when you're looking at this document here, which has just come out, including those which have at least 7 stories tall, all right, so 7 stories tall with communal areas. It will also relate to buildings with 2 or more domestic premises and communal areas. Under new rules, a building must have a dedicated responsible person. For example, this could be a letting agent. Wow, really? No way. Responsible person, a letting agent. Bloody hell. Who must deploy fire safety instructions prominently in communal areas and provide a copy of instructions to all residents within the building within 12 months of the start of regulations. New regulations also cover fire doors. So when you look at what happened in Grenfell, they're probably trying to sort of smooth over all of that. Now this is one of the scariest pieces of news, which I've read out on the live stream for a long time. Now we've got 1,570 people in the chat right now, and no doubt there's going to be many tens of thousands watching this on the replay. All right. Yes, thanks. The beer's coming right after this, because after telling you this information, I'm going to need that beer. Now, are you ready for this? Scary stuff. From December 31st, 2023, right, so right a year from now, a year and a day from today, all right, the special status of retained EU law in the UK statute book will be abolished. Whoa, let that sink in. I know. This means that the government, via Parliament, will be able to more easily repeal and replace retained EU law. Included in this is a sunset date, which all remaining retained EU law will be either replaced or assimilated into UK domestic law. Now that is going to change a lot of things. Now, who remembers the Court of European Human Rights? Bye-bye. Anyway, I need a drink after spinning that, because that is not nice to say to people. All right, so London Pride, put on to me from a good friend of mine, Armour Cockroach, when we used to go to the pub now and again together. That was our go-to. So I like drinking this stuff because it reminds me of Mike. I love Mike. Mike's a legend. He's like second dad to me, you know. And lots of you guys know Armored Cockroach. And the recent video that we done when we went out and done that wild camp in the woods, up in the mountains there, by about 20 miles from here. That was a good video to do. It was good fun. And also, Armored Cockroach and Mind Wiseman was on a live stream a few live streams ago. Q&A with preppers or something. Anyway, cheers everybody. I hope you had a good Christmas and get ready for a mad New Year's party tomorrow. So yeah, cheers everyone. Oh, that's nice. Wetting the whistle there. So yeah, cheers everybody. I hope you're all well. And also, yeah, why not have a drink on the replay as well? Why not? But make sure it's after midday. You don't want to drink in the morning, okay? You don't want people calling you silly names. So yeah, so that's quite scary. So basically, from what looking into that is all of the things, the bad things, which we were governed by in the EU, are probably going to stay and get dragged over into the UK. All of the good things, which we relied on quite a bit when we was part of the EU, sort of, is going to be gone, right? So yeah, expect big changes, and that's going to be huge. So if any of you guys are into your politics, I'm certainly not. I believe all politics is just a great excuse to argue with people, right? If you follow politics from say 16 years old to 80, and you know it's a wasted life because you're going to look back and think, do you know what? I spent most of my life arguing with other people. What a waste, in my opinion. All right. Now listen to this. You remember what I said earlier on in the prisons, right? Now, like I said, this ties into this. The online safety bill is expected to be passed by Parliament and come into force in early 2023. So I would say between now and April. That's what I'm predicting. All right. Early 2023, before the financial year. It definitely will be before that. You wait and see. Okay. I don't want to say you heard it here first. I know some YouTubers say, yeah, I said all that, you know, blah, blah, blah. You can test it if you don't believe me. I don't care. I know what I said. And I know lots of you guys are regular viewers and you will remember what I said all them weeks and months ago, years ago. All right. So, yes, it's all coming to fruition. This is why I believe we're all prepping for. Things are starting to really change. And that word exponential, which I keep talking about, you really need to understand exponential because the rate of change will blow you away. It really is. I mean, if you think back what happened since 2019 to now, it's not until you start looking at all of the pictures of the events that happened. It's insane. Most of us have forgotten already. Big changes coming. So yes, the online safety bill is expected to be passed by Parliament and come into force in early 2023. It will see a new regulatory regime. And look at the wordage, the verbiage on this. A regulatory regime. Wow. So when you start hearing governments use terms like that, online safety bill come into force, regulatory regime, set up to address illegal and harmful online content. Now, I would like to understand exactly when they define harmful content. It will cover a broad range of online service providers, including tech giants such as Twitter and TikTok. Now, you bet your bottom dollar that Instagram, Meta, and Facebook will be involved in that too. All right, probably YouTube as well. So yes, I'm really going to have to be careful what I'm saying if I want to keep this channel going. So I might have to talk in code in the near future. It's looking that way, and I'm not joking. As well as businesses which provide online services for user content sharing or storage. So an online safety bill. So that might be worth further researching into that. Okay, I might try and dig around and pull some juicy bits out of that document. If it's readily available, and let you guys in on some of the stuff about that, because you know most of us are online, and it's going to look like what you can and can't say. Like I said, with the smart prisons, you know, 6 of them going to be built here in the UK. You know, 2,000 people per prison, right? So yeah, 12,000 odd inmates. So oh, look at that. Happy New Year, Queen of NoHo, California. Bless you, darling. Thank you very much for that donation. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. Good to see you again in the chat as well. Becoming a regular, and it's good to see regular people on here. If I get time, which I don't know if I will, I'm going to try and go through some of your comments. There's so much information. Honestly, this is never enough hours in a day. 1,547. Wow, we need to get up to 2,000. So I hope people jump on board soon. Here we go. Like I said earlier about the fuel. In March this year, January, February, March, so month 3, all right, fuel duty rates were reduced by 5p a litre for 12 months, which means this temporary measure will cut soon. Although Chancellor Jeremy Jeremy Hunt, well, I'm glad I said that correctly. Yeah, Jeremy, should we say, failed to address the issue on his autumn statement. Oh, how convenient. Thanks, Jeremy. Something so significant to us, but insignificant to the rich and the wealthy. Black Fang Werewolf, Happy New Year. Thanks for that, sir. That's awesome. Really appreciate that. Yes, his autumn statement. The Office of Budget Responsibility suggested it could rise by a minimum of 12 pence a litre. Right, so when you're looking at the fuel prices now, like we said on the shared screen earlier, with Brent and crude are starting to rise very slowly. They've dipped for quite a while, and most of us have enjoyed relatively low prices at the pumps. Now, it looks like it could start to rise slowly very soon, based on catching up with those small rises on those two trades, okay? So when you tie that into March, which they're going to whack 12p minimum on top, right? So you could be paying 165 a litre of diesel now. You know, in a couple of months' time, that could easily go up to 180, 190, £2 and go beyond £2. That would be scary. This is a weird one as well for you guys. I think this is Scotland. Yeah, Scotland. So Scotland will be introducing a huge change on pavement parking in 2023. And they're going to, with a ban on drivers parking on drop curbs and pavements. So if you park on the pavement, you know, some of us park half on and half off, so traffic can flow and there's room for someone to get round. That's going to be illegal in Scotland next year. All right. Wow. Right. Now, this information is directly going to impact inflation, especially on food, goods and services. Bold Stew, thank you for that donation, sir. Really helps keeping this channel afloat, to be honest. I really appreciate all the donations. So massive thanks to you guys. Seriously mean that too. A HGV levy payment. Now, I want to see what my good friend UK Prepperman has to say about this. I saw him earlier. If you're on here, Chris, could you give us a little shout? Faye, sweetheart, if you can find UK Prepperman, can you get him on here ASAP? Because this, I want to hear what he has to say about this. Now, the HGV levy payment from August 2023, right? So, mate, only 7 months away now, 7 or 8 months away. From August, all HGVs that weigh more than 12 tons will be required to pay a levy to cover damage on road surfaces. Remember I was saying earlier about the tyres and the environment, etc. I've got a feeling that's all going to be linked into that, because let's face it, they're screwing us every single which way. Doesn't matter if you're UK, US, Lithuania, Scotland, bloody Spain, wherever it is, we're all getting screwed by stealth taxes, and this is going to be one of them, right? I think that's Jill Maltby. Thank you for that, sweetheart. God bless you. I really appreciate that. Oh, you're a star. Thanks ever so much. 12 tons or more paid to cover road surfaces cost. The measure was initially imposed in 2024, but was suspended because of the issue. Now, when you think the issue starting in 2020, 2014, what the hell was they doing for 6 years? And now they're blaming it on the issue to say that that's going to be put over. So obviously, there's going to be a levy. So the more heavier these HGV vehicles are going to be used, someone's got to pay, all right? And that, guess what? That unfortunately is likely to be passed on to us for consumer, right? So whatever you're paying for your food, firewood, or whatever it is, it's going to be going up. So that's another little thing to ump up that, okay? Now, another thing about this is quite scary as well. In 2023, council tax is set to rise by 5% instead of 3%, which the government said would be the case. So they've lied already, right? And that's like I'm saying, why vote for someone you don't trust? And this is a very, very small example of why not to trust anyone in the government, all right? Doesn't matter what government or what party it is, all right? So here the OBR watchdog said this change will be expected to yield £4.8 billion over time, equivalent to increasing the average Band D council tax in England by around £250 a year. So that's 11% in that year. So yeah, that's insane. So everything's going to be going up next year, all right? And it's been hard this year for a lot of people. I mean, like myself, you try losing your job and getting by with all of this going on, and I'm not even getting any benefits. It's a struggle, all right? And a lot of people in the same boat as myself are no longer working. Yeah, we still got to provide for family, winter, and all that sort of thing. It's hard. So check this out. Benefits will increase. The Department of Work and Pensions, the DWP, has confirmed it will increase benefits in line with the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, which that is a bullshit number as well. Okay, whatever they're saying. From April, so April again, big changes, 2023, announced by Chancellor Jeremy Hunt. I almost said that wrong then. Jeremy Hunt. Sorry about that. I'm sure you know what I mean. And in my opinion, he is. So that means benefits will be increased in line with CPI of 10.1%, which is taken from September figures. This likes to include working tax credits, child benefit, child tax credit, universal credit, attendance allowance, and PIP. Interesting. Okay, then. Also, pensions will rise. The pensions triple lock will be retained. Jeremy Hunt again. Confirmed in November statement after it was suspended during the issue. And this means that pensions will rise in line with inflation at 10.1%. Now, if you look at Neil McCoy Ward and myself have been saying, at least for the last 6 months, we believe between us, and we've been crunching some numbers behind the scenes, that inflation here in the UK is, I reckon, between 22 and 24%. So when they say 10%, obviously it's not, because you know how much you're spending on stuff and you know how much it's gone up, right? And it's all over the place. It's gone crazy. There's not much stuff has gone down or stayed the same. Most of the stuff has gone up. And when they're trying to say, oh, it's only gone up 10%, really? I mean, really? So that's why they're trying to justify only paying a 10% rise, where the truth is, in my opinion, is around under 25%. So, and another thing as well. So when you add on all of this stuff and you top it all off with, like I keep saying in the videos, that when a central bank issues money to any government, it's issued to them with interest. All right, so the interest has to be paid back. So in order for the government to afford the interest, they put everything up, inflation. So we pay for it out of what little money we all have, and it pays for the interest, which the central bank created the money out of thin air in the first place. Yeah. So it's a big scam. If you don't know what I'm talking about, man, you've got lots of research to do. Like I said, I found all this out back in 2008. Okay, bonkers. Some of you guys waking up recently, better get skates on. The energy price cap will be in place this winter and will remain from April 2023 until the following year, although it will increase from £2,500 to £3,000, with prices expected to remain elevated throughout all of next year. This equates to an average of £500 support for households in 2023 and 2024. More than 8 million households on means-tested benefits will also receive a cost of living payment of £900 in instalments, similar to the £650 payment rolled out in July and November, with £300 given to pensioners and £150 for people on disability benefits. Now, £150 to people on disability benefits and £900 to able-bodied persons, if I'm allowed to say that without offending anyone these days. It should be the other way around. You know, disabled people need all the help that they can get. Okay, it doesn't matter what the disability is, mental, physical, age, gender, size, it doesn't matter. They should be getting more than us guys who are able to work and provide for ourselves. Incidentally, what I said on the live stream last week, as I think it was 60-year-olds or something like that, disabled, they are going to be forced into work whether they like it or not, which is disgraceful in my opinion. I'll get this one as well. Now you can see where the government is trying to squeeze everyone financially, and I mean they have got everything covered. Don't forget, the government and their think tanks, which are private companies by the way, not state-owned, think tanks who advise the government. Advise is a loose term that I can use, but there's other terms that you could use if you can think about what I'm talking about here. All right, so yes, getting squeezed. Now check this out. From April, the threshold for when you start paying the top 45% tax rate is being lowered from the current £150,000 a year down to £125,140 a year. Don't forget they got experts and accountants and top level number crunchers to work out all of these figures. And they don't come out of these figures out of thin air. They are heavily researched, okay? Seriously researched. And it's all for a reason. Mr. Hunt. They can't even spell Hunt right. They should be anyway. Mr. Hunt again. Also announced the 40% tax threshold will be frozen until 2028, meaning that more people will pay the higher rate of tax in the coming years as wages rise. The 20% threshold will be frozen. So yeah, they're going to be raising wages, and you know they're going to lower the top wage, saying and you pay more tax. That is theft. I don't care how you dress that up, lovely government people. That is theft. You are stealing money from the people, the great people of this country, and calling it a tax. So yes, there we go. Agree, 100%. So yeah, like I say, there's a lot coming next year. There really, really is. And this is another thing as well, which this is in a different port. Like I say, what I try and do is I try to cross-reference many things and try and package it together. I'm trying to get as much information as I can in this. 1,605 people. Well, I'll try and get 400 people from somewhere. 2,000 people is a good number because we need to share this. Incidentally, if you are watching this in a replay, can you share this on Facebook? Because I'm not on Facebook, and I've been told lots of you guys are on Facebook. So it's good to see this filter out into that area so more people can see this information. Incidentally, I have got lots more followers from the age group of 55 to 65. That number's jumped crazy. So when you're looking at people of that age in them groups starting to come on board, that's a good thing. Because in my opinion, the older you are, the more experience you've got, the more that you've seen change over time, and you can see what's coming now, and you know why it's happening. All right. I only wish that the internet was available back in the 40s and 50s and 60s, because if that was the case, lots of I don't want to say the word older people, or more senior people, should I say, because I don't want to offend anyone, because people get offended, I know. And like my friend comedian says, when you get offended, nothing actually happens, but it is what it is, right? Just imagine if all these senior people, UK Canada, thanks for that donation, sir. That's absolutely awesome. And no doubt there's been some PayPal donations, and that incidentally still works in the replay, and that really helps. Okay, so thanks ever so much for all of them donations. I can't, deny that. You guys are brilliant. It really helps. So can you imagine if the internet was available to the senior folk now? Can you imagine how much more information they would have been privy to back in that day, rather than the only information you got back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s was whatever the hell the BBC said. Now, it might come as a shock to some people, but the BBC is not the British Broadcasting Corporation, it's the British Bullshit Corporation, right? That's the term that I've been using for years, and it's true. It's absolutely agenda driven, 100%, all right? It's a mouthpiece for the government. Propaganda is absolutely drowned in the BBC. Sorry, it's a bit of a shock, but it's true, all right? They want you to know what they want you to know without unbiased general news. Okay, so check this out. Care homes in the north will see higher costs as a cap of £86,000 is introduced on social care in old age, starting from autumn 2023. Now, what time to do that? Just before winter. So, you know, if you're elderly and you're struggling, let's face it, lots of people are, especially with the diabolical rate of pension that some of our senior citizens are getting. It's deplorable how our older guys are being looked after by, doesn't matter what government is. That's why I don't vote. I don't trust any of them, and I never will. No one's going to make me vote for no idiot. That's how it is. That's how I feel. So that makes me feel sick, actually. Starting from autumn 2023. So you're looking at like October onwards, next year, right? 2023. The law will force people. Now, can you understand the verbiage? The law will force people who have assets worth between £75,000 to £150,000 to pay more. Wow. Northerners, I don't know why to use that term, that's not very nice. Northerners may be forced to give up more of their own assets to pay for their old age care. So, based on just that snippet of information, if you are going to be falling into that category by autumn next year, my advice would be is to do something to divide those assets up to evade falling into getting rid of it all to pay for your old age. Now, some people might think, well, if anyone's got £75,000 in the bank, you know, they're well off and blah, blah, blah. Well, let me tell you this. Let me put that phone down and let me tell you this. There's a lot of people out there who have worked very hard all of their long lives and struggled, and they've gone without, and they've saved up as much as they possibly could, mainly to pass on to their grandchildren, which is an absolutely beautiful thing to do, to have a hard life going without all of the wonderful things that most of us have. And don't you dare take the mick out of them old people because they've got all of that money saved up. Lots of them have really struggled to make sure that they've got that nest egg in there to pass on to their family, because they've already seen all of this stuff coming down the road. They've seen the change over time with experience, and they know where it's going, and they want to do their best to make sure that their kids and grandkids are well looked after long after they're gone. Now, the fact that they're going to try and make them spend all of that money just to look after them. Now, think of the level of care that these old people are going to get. It's not going to be probably what you think, right? They're going to be given terrible, non-nutritious food. They're going to be neglected. They're going to be having like low levels of care because of the cost of living and the wages are low. You're going to get monkeys and peanuts, if you know what I mean. And it's not fair. It really isn't fair. And, you know what I mean? I just love talking to elderly people. I really, really do. And I'm sorry if you're offended by the term elderly. I don't know how to say it. It's just how I've known that term since I was a kid. Okay. Old age pensioners, senior citizens, elderly, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing, what I'm trying to say, all right, without upsetting you guys. I've got a lot of time for those people. I really, really have, because the knowledge and the wisdom and experience that you can draw, and also you can help them too. Okay, there's no way. I mean, check this out. I dropped my father off back down in Portsmouth. He's 67 years old. Okay, I paid for all of the fuel to get there and all of the fuel to get back. And when I was paying for the fuel for me to drive all the way back to Portsmouth, there was an elderly gentleman in front of me who couldn't afford to pay for his fuel for his little car. All right, and I offered to pay for him, even though I haven't got much money myself. £23. I said, I'll pay for him. And the guy at the checkout, he was like, what? And this guy, he was nearly crying, bless him. And yeah, but if we can all do something to help, okay, pay it forward. And yeah, I do get donations, and it really helps. And not many people know this, but I do pay it forward to other people, okay? Because once I've figured out how much money, the minimum that I need, that's all I need. The rest of it, I just give it away to other people, okay? Mike Weapon Collector will tell you I've probably given him a couple of £100 over the last couple of months. And you pay it forward, you help others. So, what I mean? Elderly people, man, stick up for them because they need help. So especially we are on the brink of winter. January, February, I've been saying it for months now. You need to check up on your elderly neighbours, okay? The little guy at the end of the road in that old, dirty, derelict house or wherever it is who's really struggling, go and knock on the door, have a chat with him, help him in any way you can, or her, all right? Just help. It really helps. So yeah, I do feel a bit strongly about that. So sorry for going off on a bit of a tangent, but I'm human after all. So where else was I saying? Right. This is another thing as well. I'm sorry it's going on a bit longer. I usually finish now, but I'm going to crack on for a little bit more, okay? But I need to wet that whistle in my old-fashioned, genuine King George pint pot. Oh my God. Really? I feel sick. Paolo, man, you've given too much, dude. I'm going to have to bump that onto someone else. That's too much money. Hey, brother, hope everything is well with you and the family. Loving the lives. Keep up the amazing work. Paolo, you're a legend, sir. Bloody hell. Don't you start me off. You guys are too kind, right? It's crazy. Right, trying to move on with other news in. Ultra low emission scheme extended. So anyone who plans a trip to London will need to be aware that the ULEZ, which is ULEZ zone, will expand to all 33 boroughs of London. Any of you Londoners in the house watching right now, I know my good friend Alex, who works on the bins, he gives me lots of intel what's going on in West London. Wow. Also, I've got a mate from Germany. He pops over the East End now and again. Crazy, crazy. Listen to this. The ULEZ zone will be extended to all 33 boroughs of the capital in August the 29th, 2023. Now, what time of year is August? It's summertime. It's going to be hot. So they're really going to be pushing climate change. Now, them two words, right? Now, listen to this and remember this if you're new to this. Climate change. Every single change that you're seeing over the last couple of years and will continue to happen over the next 8 years at least is all to do with climate change, what they're pushing on us. Everything they will blame on climate change in a roundabout way. So to get around this, we need to convince as many people as possible that climate change is a complete hoax. It's been fabricated. It's definitely one of those agenda things that they're trying to push, okay? Look at the UN. Yes, I'm fully aware of it. On the WEF, yes, I'm fully aware of it. And it's crazy. But listen to this. So in August 29th, 2023, this means any and all cars that do not meet low emission standards will be required to pay £12.50 every time they pass through a zone. So if you've got a vehicle which doesn't fall into those planet saving requirements as regarding the emissions, etc., you're going to have to pay £12.50 every time you go through a zone. So 33 boroughs, if you had to drive through all 33 boroughs for whatever reason, every single one you go into, you're going to have to pay £12.50. Now, you think that's bad? Now, check this out. This is one of the reasons why I'm saying if you are living in an urban environment, you've got to do whatever you can to get out of there, all right? You've got time, but time is ticking. You need to do whatever you can to get out of there. And I know it's expensive, and I know it seems impossible, and I know there's going to be excuses, but if you really want to do it, you will find a way. You will focus. You'll make all the changes you need to change, and you will do it. I done it. I did. And it's a struggle. Trust me. Living out here on a mountain with no job, it's a struggle, but you can do it. And I'm proof of that, right? Similar zones exist in Brighton and Birmingham, with Dundee, Aberdeen, and Edinburgh set to follow soon. Okay, so it doesn't just affect Londoners. We're talking people living in Brighton and Birmingham, right? Heavily populated areas. And no doubt they're going to be rolling these out to Liverpool, Manchester, etc., Coventry, all of these places I can see, Newcastle. Just give it time and you'll see. You will come back to this live stream in a year or two and go, wow, do you know what? He was right. Guess what? I live in the centre of Manchester and now I've now got to pay blah, blah, blah. Set to follow soon. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. It's not just London with these climate change hoax taxes for these non-EV vehicles, which are supposed to be extremely efficient and non-polluting. But yes, I call for sure. Absolutely right. So let me just go. Yeah, like I said earlier, and do you know what? Who remembers Crime Watch? You remember Crime Watch? Keep them peeled. Some of you guys will know what I'm talking about. And if you know what I'm talking about, put it in caps right now and we'll see. But we're going to end on the thing where they say, don't have nightmares. So I'm sorry to tell you this, but time to go. We live in one of the worst towns in the UK. We're terrified of going out at night and crime is horrific. So there's anyone here watching this from this town. Residents of one of the worst towns in the UK have revealed that they are terrified of going out at night time as crime rates have soared through the roof. We've talked about this with muggings, etc., on the rise in Birmingham and other places, populated areas. Okay, thank you for whoever that was just donated on Ko-fi. Very much appreciated. Now, has anyone heard of the town Redditch? Redditch, Redditch. May be the birthplace of pop icon Harry Styles, but locals say that is where the glamour ends for this small town in Worcestershire. Wow. So that is the second baddest town. One of them, I think it's Colchester. Colchester is leading the leaderboard in the worst place to live. Jay, I lived in Redditch. Well, you could probably confirm some of what I'm saying. But this is recently. I don't know if this is from time ago. Having recently seen it ranked the second worst town in the country by the ONS, so it's debatable. Okay, personal well-being survey. Wow, personal well-being survey. Man, they really hammer up, don't they? Seriously. Residents of gloomy Redditch. Wow, can you see the verbiage that they use here? It's insane, isn't it? Right, let me just put that down because it's making all the screen go blurry. Here I am. Cool. Sorry about the focusing issue. That webcam is not all that logic thing. Anyway, right. The poll found that across 4 categories of anxiety levels, life satisfaction, happiness, and the feeling that things in life were worthwhile, the town came behind only Colchester in the terms of the lowest average score. Wow. And it just goes through like testimonies of people living there. There's been 2 horrible murders over the last 2 years, which has shocked the entire community and then makes everyone worry. She feared that young women like her seriously fear of going out on their own at night time when they want to. They go to Birmingham instead. So to go to Birmingham, where muggins is at an all-time high, it's safer to go to Birmingham than to walk around in Redditch overnight time. So wow. Likewise, van driver Ian, who moved to Redditch from Wolverhampton a year ago, said everyone's very pleasant and seems friendly, but the town centre is getting really run down and it's not much to do. There's just 4 pubs and a nightclub. And the Golden Cross, which used to be a pub, closed down. A blot on the landscape, an eyesore. It closed down because of a gun incident. Wow. You got to keep yourself to self. If you hang out with the wrong uns, you'll get into big trouble. It's shocking when you hear stories like a man stabbed to death in an Asda car park. Another resident, 80 years old Dave, lived in Redditch all his life and has said that it's changed a lot over the years, but not for the better. There are virtually no shops open other than that an indoor shopping centre, and the locals are dismayed by the closures of the high street staples like Marks and Spencer and Debenhams. Wow. Emily, this person, she runs a market. She said it's got really rough. Some parts are fine in the shopping centre, but everywhere else is terrible. It's slow trade-wise. There has been 2 high-profile murders in 2 years. There's always youths mucking around. Yeah, so wow, look at the pictures. It looks pretty rough, actually. Wow. Meanwhile, in 2020, 22-year-old musician Colton Bryan was murdered at home in front of his girlfriend. Oh, my God. 3 men were found guilty of his murder last March and sentenced to life in prison for a vicious, unprovoked attack. Yeah, I'm not going to read any more of that. That is enough. Turn that thing off. So like I keep saying, there is a lot of stuff going on. What I'm going to try and do, if I can find this email, I'm going to try and read some of this out. I think it's that one, because there's been so many emails. I've got to try and find it. Yeah, it's a really, really long email. So what I'm going to try and do, because there's some important information here, I don't really want to talk about the hotel issue. I've already covered that on the live stream, and I've been warned by a few people to don't go there because I could end up in a lot of trouble. It seems to be a really hot topic lately, so I'm heeding the voice and trying to step back a bit from that. But yeah, lots of it goes on about that. I wish I could share it. Some people say go to Brighteon or the other platforms, but I don't know. You can't reach half as many people on them platforms. YouTube seems to be where it's at still. Yeah, it really goes into depth actually about the migration issue, should we say. He does say, however, this is interesting, that this guy, I'm not going to name him, I'm not going to name where he is from or where he is, but he picked up on this, which I completely agree with. Situational awareness is very poor in many aspects in this area. So yeah, I've done a YouTube video a long time ago, probably last year before, called Grey Man Concepts. So if you haven't seen the video I've done on Grey Man Concepts a couple of years ago, really watch that. You're going to learn a lot if you don't know what situational awareness is and security, that sort of thing. Okay. That information I've done there, I might have to redo it because lots of you guys haven't seen it yet. It's not got many views, but now is the time that people really need to pay attention to situational awareness. Okay. Yeah. Wow. I'm trying to find something which I can read out, which I know I'm not going to get in bloody trouble. He talks about the 4th Industrial Revolution, which some of us are aware of. Yeah, it's actually real. It's crazy. And yeah, I didn't realize that guy, his dad, worked as an armaments manufacturer for Adolf Hitler. Wow. Talk about keeping a family, eh? What about First Reich? Looking crazy, looking real crazy. Yeah, I would like to, but I can't really. No, it's too hot, man. I can't mention that. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to say the guy's name. But there we go. Yes. So thanks for them donations, people. That's really, really cool. You guys are amazing. Just catching up with some of you guys now, because we're in happy hour now. We got a lock in, so we're carrying on. So yeah, thanks to all of you guys. 4x4 fella, that's awesome. Good to see you, mate. Bloody hell, hot sauce, Bo. Say something saucy, please, mate. I would like to, mate, seriously. But what I'm planning on doing is when this website is finally done, and I know it's taken forever and a day, but there's going to be a members area on there, which we own the server, and it's all going to have the latest encryption on there. It's pretty much impossible to hack. It's very expensive. It's taken a long time to develop, and some other people are doing similar things, but they don't own the server. It's not in the UK in some places, right? So this is where the website is going to be unique. So there is going to be a members area which people can join and become that community. And the information which I would like to share, which I can't on here because it's just too hot, will be shared on there, because there is no risk of it getting me into big trouble, okay? Because we own the server and we are literally free to say whatever we want on here. Here, like most of us know, here we go, look, we are already in trouble. Yeah, of course we are. And it's only going to get worse, sweetheart. Looking crazy. Wow, 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 wow. Deep in the bunker. Hi, dude. Hope you're well. Good to see you on here. Who else is in here? Right, we've got a question. Here we go. Capital letters, like I say, if you can. I'm sorry if you've done loads. I don't know how to see them. There's thousands and thousands of bloody messages in there now. Just got online. Was wondering with CBDC, what's better, gold or silver, and where to get it. I would say, like I say to everyone, when you're into or you're getting into the world of preparedness, try to cover all of your bases. All right. So from how I see things, I would advise people get as many options as they can. All right. Options in everything. Right. Different ways to heat your home off grid. Right. Not just a paraffin heater, a gas bottle heater too. Maybe a wood burner or something else. Okay. Different options. Okay. Because the more options you've got, it's going to come into play with what's going on. You've got plan A, B, C, D to use if something changes. No, sorry, if, but when things change. Okay, so adopt that concept to what Rue's saying here, and I would say gold and silver. Obviously, gold's very expensive for what it is at the moment. But I would always suggest, if it's going to be investment based, is to do small denominations only. Okay, so silver 1 ounce coins are very good. With gold, I think you're going to have to go to really small amounts because of it's so expensive. Okay, so you're looking at safeguarding your wealth. Okay, because the prices of gold and silver is not going to go down. If it does go down, it's going to go down very little, and it's going to rise massively at some point in the near future. Right. So what you're paying for silver now is very, very cheap if you can get it. Now the problem is with silver, like some of us know, it's based on spot price. Now there's a thing called premiums, right? So premiums are always going to be higher than the spot price. So the spot price right now, if we looked, there we go. Let's go to the share screen just real quick, and we're going to get this sorted out for Rue very quickly. We're going to go in there right now. Right, so here we go. Silver currently is $23.79 US per troy ounce. Okay, that's where it is there. So here we are, silver. Now, I bet you any money, right, that silver, you look at that price there, that went up to 26, right? That was in August, and it dropped right down to there, which is 18. It's climbing up again. It's at 24 thereabouts, just under. Okay, so that's where we are currently. So with silver, the premium is always going to be all on the spot price. You're never going to buy a brand new 1 ounce silver coin for that price. It's not going to happen. All right. Let me see. Let's try this. Right, bullion by post. Now, this was recommended to me from a friend of mine a long time ago now. And yes, there's probably other ones that are better, etc. No, I'm not creating an account. So there we go. Silver coins. View all silver coins. Right, here we go. Well, look at that. From £27 in stock, in stock, in stock. Oh, wow, that's nice. So is that 1 ounce? Let's have a look, shall we? 1 ounce silver coin in stock. Wow, that is pretty crazy. That's the lowest price I've seen. Bonkers. So you're looking at live prices right now. So yeah, that is quite cheap because the minimum is like £30-40 a coin. Now it's come down. So yeah, I would say it's a good time to buy. £27 is still expensive, for a silver coin. Let me see. All right, let me just go back onto that. Share screen. Right, bear with me, guys. There we go. Bosh, you're on. So yeah, look at this. It says here it was £27. Well, look, when you go to buy it, it's 29. It's nearly £30 a coin because you got to pay VAT on there. Now, lots of us got the silver coins before 2020 because there was no VAT on it. Lots of us got it from outside the UK, and we avoided paying all of the VAT. So we made a bit of a bargain there. But yeah, the cheapest you're going to get now, I'm looking at it, is nearly £30 a coin, which is interesting. It's very interesting, actually. I never thought it would be that low. And also, it does appear that stock quantities are good. So I advise that get some, because lots of this, look, awaiting stock. Can you see this one? Awaiting stock, awaiting stock, awaiting stock, awaiting stock, awaiting stock, awaiting stock. Now look at all these that are awaiting stock. So there are some availability on these. Look, VAT free. Wow, look at that. £27.90. That's what I would do. I would just go for that. Amazing. So yeah, they're in stock, guys. So fill your boots. You've got a short window to stock on those because they're going to be like all of these, awaiting stock, awaiting stock, awaiting stock, awaiting stock. Let's go to page 2 for silver coins. Now look at that, awaiting stock, awaiting stock, awaiting stock, awaiting stock. All of this is awaiting stock, right? So yes, there is some availability, all right? Gold, wow, that's scary. Look at that. In stock, 1,060. Bloody hell. Half ounce, quarter ounce. You see the prices changes there. The 10th. Wow. So yeah, there is stock of gold, mainly because it's more expensive and not many people have got ready money to go get it. Krugerrands. Wow, look at the price of Krugerrands now. Wow, that's insane. So yeah, I thought I'd just check over that quickly. Very interesting to see that information coming out right now. So yes, gold or silver, I would say both if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, I would just get as many 1 ounce silver coins as you can. Personally, I get 4 nines fine. So it's number 9 4 times. It's the purest silver you can get. In fact, they call it medical grade silver. So when you've got medical grade silver, you can actually make colloidal silver. Now, if you haven't heard of colloidal silver, look into it. It's one of the best health benefits that you can do, and you can make it yourself. You just want 4 nines fine medical grade silver coins. You put them in distilled water and try and get it as pure as possible with clean, sterilized containers. You put voltage through there and you get that just right. That water then becomes colloidal silver. You start having a couple of teaspoons or whatever it is a day, you can get it like 10 parts per million or 20 parts per million, which is what I use when I need to. It's amazing stuff. It really, really is. In fact, when the issue was happening, there's so much overwhelming evidence coming out that silver is by far the best way to kill bacteria. They started diluting it and spraying it on the handles of supermarket trolleys. They already knew this information, but they had to wait a year or two for that issue to develop before starting to do that. So there you go. That's what I would say. I would buy a tent if I was you. Well, yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, tent cities are popping up everywhere. Seriously good. Now, what I'm going to do quickly, I'll just go on to this. Right, this is from my brother. Aid, yeah, fully aware, mate. I'll give Paolo a shout out earlier. The guy's awesome. He seriously is. So let me just check in here. Wow. That's insane. And Andrew, thanks for that donation, and Tracy as well. OMG. That's insane. What's going on here? You guys have been mad on PayPal. Wow. Gee whiz. Yeah, wow. Raphael, beautiful name. Keith, Shane, Mark, Siraj, wow. Tracy and Andrew. You guys on PayPal, that's insane. And like I say, even on the replay, you know, people who watch this who aren't watching live still donate on air, and it really does blow us all away. It's helping like crazy. So I would say, wow, look at the time. Wow, wow, wow. I've got to go up and check on my son. He's not been well lately, so I'm going to see how he is. I think he's on the mend now. He's over the west of it. Have you got any room in your house for me? Man, I wish. Well, we've had 2 people and a dog round recently, and it completely packed us right out. I've had my father stay here as well. It's been full on mad Christmas. It seriously has. And yeah, all the money's gone. So we're proper brassics over this. All these donations are really helping. So yeah, it's brilliant. Tricky Dicky. Wow. It's awesome, you guys. Get another sandwich in there. Well, maybe not that, but I'm having another one of these. Cheers, everybody. Wow. But yeah, that would be my closing message to all of you guys before I sign off now. Do your best to help elderly people. Not just elderly, but vulnerable people. People living on their own especially, right? So if you know anyone local to you who could be struggling, just drop in and see how they are, okay? Doesn't have to go crazy. Just at least knock on their door, have a little chat with them, give them something, take something round to them. Even if it's just a tin of beans or a newspaper, whatever it is, right? It's going to help. Because sometimes, you know, when you're elderly or vulnerable, or you're lonely, right? Just having someone to talk to, right, it will really make people's day. Sometimes these people don't talk to people for days, maybe weeks in extreme cases. So it really helps, okay? And also a little tip as well, if you are going to pay a visit on someone to check up on how they are, a little tip, do what you can to make that person feel important and special, right? It really, really helps. Even if they got crap jokes, laugh at them, right? Just be really nice to them. I'll tell you what, that person will go to bed that night and he will remember, even if it's just a 2-minute chat on a doorstep, that person will remember that just before they go to sleep. And I'll tell you this much, it's a lot nicer to reminisce and think and feel good things just before going to sleep, right? It helps. And it could, I know it sounds extreme and some of you might laugh, but I don't care. It could mean a difference between life and death, because there's the suicide rates in this country are not being talked about, and it's insane. All right. So that little thing that you've done or plan on doing could save them. All right. It really, really could. So, like I said, on this thumbnail on here, you know, will the UK survive 2023? So, like I said, stay to the end of the video, and the end of the video is now. Lots of people aren't going to make it next year, right? And I would say a lot of cases will be suicide. A lot of people will just have enough, they can see no way out of it, and they'll just literally give up. So if you're watching and you have had those little thoughts and tendencies, all I can say to you is I've been there, right? I've been there, and I know people who've been there, and I know people who've been there and have not come out the other side. They're gone, right? And there's truly missed some good friends and some in the community as well, right? But all I say to you is, whatever you're going through, no matter how hard or how bad it is, it's temporary, all right? Whatever it is, it's temporary, okay? Just remember that. So when you are really at rock bottom, shut your eyes and think to yourself, God, this is hard. I can't go on any longer. It's really bad. Just say, this is temporary. And that might help. It helped me out, okay? So, like I say, not many people are going to make it. Oh, wow. Mark, dude, honestly, that's awesome. I appreciate that, sir. Seriously. So, yeah, that's what I would say. try your best to help others, right? Like I said, even when I was at that petrol station, and yeah, money's low, and I gave that guy 23 quid, and nearly made him cry, and he thanked me, and he got in his car and off he went. Probably really important stuff. He was elderly himself, so he probably had like elderly friends to go and visit. So being elderly and like having enough money for fuel to get from A to B, that's a lot of independence for some people. Bo, as always, dude. I wish I took a photograph when I was at my dad's place because I drank a nice cup of coffee out of an LA Raiders mug. Yes, mate. We wear the silver, we wear the black. Don't get in our way. Love you, Bo. So, yes, mate. That's what I say. That's my advice. So, I'm going to love and leave you now. I'm going to check up on my son to see how he's doing. Thanks for everyone who come along, who inputted loads of information. I'm going to try and get through some of the messages exactly. What's happening in Cornwall? Just quickly. I can't really talk too much about it, but all I can say is people that weren't born in Cornwall who are turning up in Cornwall recently, it's getting so bad now that I would say that 90% of the hotels are no longer going to be available to the general public. If you want more information about this, I advise you watch the previous live stream I done about Army in hotels. That will answer your questions, but that absolutely is going on in Cornwall, right? My partner's from Cornwall. She speaks to her folks on a daily basis. I've got 4 or 5 friends who email me at least twice a week telling me what's going on in Cornwall, and yes, it's bad. So anyway, before I crack on, so yeah, God bless every one of you, and thank you for all of your help and advice as always. Email address below the video. Feel free to send me an email anytime you want, and I'll try my best to include it maybe in the live streams if I can, because like you can appreciate, there's a lot of information to share, but definitely in those Intel update videos. So stay tuned. Over next week, there will be 3, 4, 5 of those at least, because emails are coming in so much, right? So we need to know what's going on with eyes and ears on the ground, not what they're talking about in the newspapers, like we filtered out and we BS'd a lot of that, right? So yes, thanks to all the moderators. Without you guys, this isn't happening. You guys are absolutely awesome. And last but not least, every single person that's donated to really help. It's a beautiful thing. And I really, really say that from the bottom of my heart. Every penny is massively helping. God bless all of you for that. It really helps. And without further ado, I'm going to sign off. So thanks for watching and stay funky.